With what?
Aflatoxin, the
Peanut allergies? No, we can't do you're talking about the peanuts, right?
It's a fungus that goes on the peanuts.
Okay, no.
Down the road from the Peace Corps office, so it's amazing. They're selling a lot of Peace Corps volunteers.
Oh, it's great.
I have a question on the water. Have you all figured out what the impact is? Sorry, but I'm always asking about impact. So when you build the ecobaños, no, I don't mean the ecobaños, when you bring the water in, have you documented what science knows about clean water? In order for us to say we put the aqueducts in, we're bringing clean water in, therefore we can assume that certain things won't happen because of contaminated water?
That is, that's one of our goals. At the very, we, depending on the volunteer, but always at the very end, once we have the water running in the house, we do a water test to make sure the water coming in your faucet isn't contaminated. So obviously if it's contaminated, we're not doing our job. Because the point is to reduce contamination by not, if you store it in a bucket, you store it in something people can put their hands in and get contaminated. But if it's coming out of a faucet, it goes into a faucet in your mouth, there's less chance of contamination. So what we do is, at the end of the project, when we have the water coming to the houses, we'll go to different people's houses and do water tests with that water. And there's an institute here and in Santiago that do water testing, and we work with them to do that. I don't know about the documentation, I'm sure Tim would know better, but
Tim's our boss, by the way.
yes.
Yeah, I'm Tim McFerrin. I'm the project director for appropriate technology, and a lot of these, the work that these guys are doing is something that I brought from Bolivia and from other countries, and we're really going ahead and implementing. But anyway, to answer your question on the quality of water and so on, we haven't done necessarily tests on or studies on how clean water has impacted health and so on. Just the fact that we're putting in a water system, we know that it's improved on it, and we're not interested right now in the data, for example, of saying yes, there is an improvement and so on. We know that by putting clean water in, there is already a solution to it. Okay, we would have to spend a lot of time doing investigation and so on, and we'd rather spend it in other activities.
Have you trained like your water committee to do simple water tests to make sure that the water, you talk about sustainability. One of the things about these water systems is that they can grow biofilms or intrusions can happen. Have you trained the water committee to do appropriate technology so that they can do quick tests of the water so they don't have to ship it off to Santiago or Santo Domingo, so they can find out right away if they got a problem?
In that sense, just give you a historical background a little bit. You mentioned about the water program being 15, 20 years old. Some of you have already worked with water systems when you were volunteers. We have records pretty much about 15 years ago in certain areas like the Altamira area and the Cercado area. And the volunteers there, within at least say the last 15 years, have constructed mostly gravity-fed water systems. You guys were probably involved in that, but the concentration was on a gravity flow. Because they come from springs and we seal those springs, we've tested it initially as hot, that it is good drinking water. We're pretty not worried too much about what happens years later. We do have one task left that we need to do, is to reinforce what's called the Association of Water Committees. The 15 years of putting water systems just in the Altamira area, 95% of the systems are working. Those people, those communities are paying tariffs. They're paying their own repairs. What we need to do now, we started working on that, is getting these committees together so that they can start exchanging ideas and issues that they have among themselves. And one of them is that how do they get to testing their water again, just to make sure they're ready. that answer?
I think that's an excellent point, though, what you're saying about testing year after year in terms of trained water committees. I mean, one of the difficulties with that is that testing for pathogens is not always the easiest process. You can get simple testing kits, and I think that would be maybe something that we should look at in the future is having water committees continue to test the water year after year in case anything did change with the source or the water source, or there was new contamination into the system. So I think that's an excellent point.
We can talk because I have appropriate technologies
Okay.
for you.
We have little sachets that for pathogen presence and absent E. coli. We use that once in a while to check it just in case. That's the fastest, but it's still dependable on the outside world. It's not nothing. It isn't appropriate technology per se, something locally. I just wanted to add a few comments with Ari's project, working on the Eco Baños. One of the things that we're very proud of is he's trained 10 masons to do the Eco Baños, of which 3 are women. And that was something that really is impressive to have women albañiles and technicians working on that. So we're very proud that we have gender involvement in it. A comment on Jeremy's project. They're making also what's called a Nutrifork, which is a nutritional bar that has coconut oil, other additives to it, and it's something that the Miracle bar that brings down nutritional problems from, and so that's being manufactured, being produced in this community, and peanut butter is part of that. So it's not just the peanut butter that you're tasting now, but it's also the peanut butter, but a little bit in a rougher form that goes in to make the Nutrifork. So that's something that. And any other questions?
If anyone has any other questions, it can be maybe after lunch or after the program is over. But right now, you are free to go to lunch.